Mastering emotions. The key to winning half of life. Standing on the banks of life's long river. The moments swept by emotions often become turning points in destiny. Contracts shattered by fit of rage. Opportunities devoured by anxiety. And times frozen by depression, psychological. Studies show that 43% of human decisions in life are influenced by emotions, while those with strong emotional management skills have a 27% higher success rate than the average person. When we can remain sober in ecstasy, hold on to reason in anger, and anchor hope in低谷, low valleys, it is like placing a crucial piece on the chessboard of life, securing half of the landscape. Our emotional loss of control, the reefs in life's voyage, is the chain reaction of anger, from an emotional volcano to collapsing destiny. In 490 BC, Athenian general Miltiades, fit of rage over a tactical dispute, led his army to act blindly, nearly causing defeat in the battle. If Marathon, 2,000 years later, in a modern workplace, a tech company director slammed at the table in a project review meeting after his plan was questioned, not only missing out on tens of millions financing, but also causing the core team members to resign. And must say, anger is like a fuse whose destructive power often far exceeds the emotion itself. American psychologist Paul Ekman's striking study found that anger lasting more than 12 minutes causes the brain's prefrontal cortex to be akin for 48 hours, equivalent to decision-making ability in a drunk state. Those traffic accidents triggered by road rage and family tragedies caused by quarrels are essentially domino effects of emotional loss of control, be the chronic erosion of anxiety, exhausting life in imaginary storms. Kafka once wrote in his diary, "I spend 3 hours every day worrying whether the alarm will ring, forgetting to wind it up. This excessive worry about unfashioned and happened events is becoming an emotional epidemic among modern people." World Health Organization data shows that global anxiety disorder patients have reached 70 million, among which 62% of patients experience career stagnation due to anxiety. A Silicon Valley programmer, worrying about project delays, woke up at 3 a.m. for 3 consecutive months, finally deleting the code by mistake on the eve of the product launch, not only ending his career, but also suffering from POST, traumatic stress disorder. Anxiety is like an idling engine, consuming real energy in imagined crises, making people create a certain failure, ending in the fear of maybe failing. See the freezing effect of depression. Stopping the river of life. British poet Thomas Nash described in A Plague on Both Your Houses. Depression is the frost of the soul, freezing all buds of hope in the soil. 2018 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine laureate Ta Su Kui Hongzhou once revealed that, during his research on PD-1 inhibitors, he fell into severe depression after 17 consecutive experimental failures and refused to communicate with anyone for 3 months. This prolonged emotional downturn not only destroys the psychological defense, but also triggers physical diseases. Harvard Medical School Studies show that long-term depressive have 3 times the incidence of cardiovascular disease and 40% lower immune system activity than ordinary people, those young people who binge eat. After a breakup and middle-aged people who stay 闭门不出 closed door after unemployment are all lives frozen by depression. Forgetting the look of spring. In the emotional winter are emotional mastery. Decoding the key to a successful life. A. The mode of rational decision making. Anchoring the course in emotional waves. During the 1997 Asian financial crisis, when Soros' quantum fund was severely hit and traders panicked, he calmly played box frig in his office. This emotional stability in the storm allowed him to accurately bottom fish the shelf. Korean stock market 2 weeks later, reaping a $1.9 billion profit. Neuroscience shows that when people are in an emotionally stable state, the connection efficiency between the brain's amygdala and prefrontal cortex increases by 37%. And this efficient collaboration between emotion and reason is the core competitiveness of top decision makers as investment guru. Howard Marks said in The Most Important Thing, being fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful is essentially a contest of emotional management skills. B. The lubricants of personal relationships. Building hard bridges through emotional resonance. When Kazuo Inamori founded KDDI, he faced a collective protest from senior employees facing the angry crowd. Instead of defending himself, he told the story of his 3-year bankruptcies. When starting his business, when he said, "Irons cried while holding the accounts at night." The protesters' emotions gradually calmed down. This ability to transform emotions into empathy is the golden rule of interpersonal relationships at the Harvard University 情商 Emotional Intelligence Research Center found that people with strong emotional recognition ability have 1.8 times larger social networks and 1 times faster career promotion than ordinary people. The wisdom of handing a glass of warm water when a partner is angry and tenderness of silent companionship when occupied is frustrated are all civilized flowers blooming from emotional management. See the law of life energy conservation. Turning emotions into growth fuel. After her husband Pierre's accidental death, Madame Curie locked herself in the laboratory for a week and finally found an emotional outlet in the study of radium, this ability to transform grief into motivation in Jung, confirms psychologist Freud's theory of emotional sublimation. Tracking study by the U.S. National Academy of Sciences shows that those who can transform negative emotions into constructive actions have a life achievement index 3.2 times higher than ordinary people. Entrepreneurs who developed popular apps after unemployment and writers who publish best-selling novels after divorce all prove emotions are not enemies to be eliminated, but energy to be harnessed when we learn to transform anger into the courage to change, anxiety into the drive to prepare, and sadness into the nourishment for growth. Emotions become the fuel for life.